All right, so today we are talking about backup plans. Do you have a backup plan for your business?
Yeah, and we're kind of talking about, the world is kind of crazy right now, but this really sparked off of a post that was in our members group just recently. A new member who jumped in and said this is perfect timing because the division that I'm in my corporation is getting sold. So she doesn't know what that means for her in the future. Are they cutting it or whatever? So she's excited to, really grow her flipping business up to help her. So we're like, okay, that's awesome. And we want to talk about that because flipping has been a huge, obviously now, like we've dove into it a lot over the years, but even back in the day, it was always like our backup plan. So kind of dive into what that looks like. And without it, we would have had a lot of harder time in a couple different instances. So.
And if you're listening to this, typically you have the interest. You might not be flipping yet, but you definitely have the interest in flipping. Our goal is for you not to wait until something really happens in your day-to-day career, your business, whatever you're doing now for you to have something to fall back on if something does happen. Heaven forbid if something does happen and tomorrow or anything like that, you do have some skills that you can totally build into this business.
Yeah, because there's never a better time to have a backup plan and learn something than when you do have a job that you have something stable, because if you have to dive right in and a lot more stress is put on you, then it's a lot harder. So but if you already have things moving and in play, then it's a lot easier to make the transition. So and I to bring about whenever we had to jump in full time. I say had to jump in, but we've told this story before, but when we were, your job said that they were going to cut healthcare. And this was an effect from the recession. Your job really didn't get affected till a couple of years later.
Yeah.
And at first they started cutting hours. You cut hours first, and then they made you independent contractors instead of employees. And then they cut health benefits. And at that point, we were already making more from our flipping business.
Yeah.
And so we're like, all right, well, what do we do? Do we jump in full time or, put some more hours to this business, and could it work? But if we didn't have that, we would have had to go and scramble and look for a new job. So
we did have the foundations built for flipping, and it had bailed us out so many times in the past, but we never realized, hey, this could totally be a full-time gig. We could totally do it. We didn't realize that until we came down to the line of, okay, what should we do? Should I go out and try and find another career? Should I go and do this? And that's where we had the foundations. And that's all we're trying to have you guys realize right now. If you're at the point where you might be dabbling in this, definitely build it so you have the foundations to where if something does happen, you can take it to the next level. You've already built feedback on eBay. You understand the process of everything going on. So that's the biggest thing, is really having something to fall back onto if something else in the world goes crazy and you can't do it. This is already proven. Flipping is already proven to withstand almost anything that's been thrown at it. A recession, COVID, all that kind of stuff. Dude, it's been an amazing business that you're always able to create that income that you want to create just by working and really working smart.
Yeah, and really this industry really thrives during crazy economies, during a recession or during, you have to think how many people are, well, for one, in our instances, businesses go out of business, so you can find great deals on stuff. Not that we want anybody to go out of business, but it happens every day anyway.
Yeah.
But even more so during, economic low times. And then so many more people are looking for deals, so they're going to buy used over buying new. So they're wanting to buy that thing, and people still need stuff. It's not like people aren't buying anything. People are still buying stuff, but sometimes people just are a little more conscious of the amount they're spending.
Absolutely.
So they're going to buy used over buying new. So
yeah.
It's always flourished. You can look at how many value stores they grow during the time of a recession. So yeah, it definitely is a great time right now to jump in if you haven't yet, to really dive in and get started. And like you said, build that feedback, because if something happens and your paycheck stops and you have to really rely on your flipping income, have you grown it to where you can now just start throwing more hours at it, and it's a machine? So
yeah, because we've talked about it too. If you jump into eBay now, say you've listened to us and you're dabbling, or you haven't gone to that next level, or you haven't jumped in and really started listing stuff on eBay has criteria to keep scammers off of it. So even if you just create an account today, you are limited to how much they're going to allow you to list dollar amount wise. And I think it's only 10 items a month until, you can keep revolving. So if you sell 2 items, you can go back to 10 items. You can keep doing that, but they do that for the protecting of buyers and sellers alike. They want to make sure somebody's not trying to come in and scam. So you have to build that. Now, if you're doing that right now while you still got your full-time income, That's the smartest thing you can do. You're building that rapport with eBay. You're building your business and you're learning the process of it. So if something does happen, you can jump in and you can start implementing some high profit items. You can get your income back up to cover whatever income you had of the job that you got laid off from, the job that you lost, anything like that. You're building the foundations, and like Melissa said, the smartest time to do that is while you have another income coming in. That's when we built our foundations, when we had other jobs and we were using this as a side hustle, but we knew how the process worked. We've honed it in way, way better than we could ever imagine going full time. But at the same time, we did have the foundations already there, set into place so we could start making really good money quickly in this business.
Yeah, and I can't even think about how many times this side hustle has like saved us financially, because I mean, even when we first got married, I switched jobs that first year, and I became a personal trainer, and I wasn't paid real. I mean, you get a base pay, but it's like nothing. So we had a income loss for a couple weeks, and then so he's like, flip more items. Like there was not a hiccup in our income because you just went out and sold some more stuff. It was just like, okay, we need some money, let's go sell some stuff. That's always how it's been, and we've been to where we've gotten money's been really tight, and it's like, okay, well, let's go flip some more stuff. Like, and so it's always this thing we've fallen back on so many times, and then finally one day we're like, oh, we could actually do this for real. So, which I don't know why it took us so long to realize that it's actually, maybe it's like people ask you what you do for a living. I mean, it's selling on eBay, so I find stuff people don't want and I resell it. So it's a legit thing. We're recycling, so getting stuff back into society. People throw away so much stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that's another reason why this business just lasts, because people get rid of stuff every single day, and you don't know the circumstances of why they're doing it. Maybe they're moving, maybe they're decluttering, maybe they're just buying the next upgrade of what it is, and they throw it away. And we found so much stuff in the trash.
Guys, I was taking my kids to school today, and I drove past at a beautiful table. I mean, this thing probably I could sell for $100, $150. By the time I got back, it was an hour later after I got back from there. I took Melissa over there because I wanted to show her to it. It was already gone. So somebody already picked it up, took it. They're going to either use it or resell it. There is stuff everywhere. And that's not just like one-off thing.
No, just this week, you came, we were walking back home, and there was a stove on the side of the road. The stove was in not great shape, but there's parts on the stove that you could still use. And so you took the grates off of it. Right? Is that what they're called?
No,
grates?
the grates, yeah.
And they're still like $100, and you should have went back and got the knobs. But then the garbage truck already came and got it.
A lot of times, even broken stuff on the side of the road has good parts on it that are worth almost as much as the unit together. Parts are expensive. They're hard to find too sometimes. So you guys, there's stuff everywhere. There will always be stuff on the side of the road. There'll always be stuff at thrift stores, yard sales, flea markets. There will always be stuff to buy. That is not the hard part. So, yeah.
And even last year, I think it was last year, we went on, we were at near my mom's on our summer trip, and we went to the thrift store. I think it was Habitat out there, and they have so much stuff. And we bought a whole bunch of stuff, and so we went around back to go pick it up. The amount of stuff that was in the back that they had to sort through and didn't even, like, it was double the size that was in the store, that they hadn't even
it was outside.
Gone through, and it was outside, and there was just so much stuff. I took a video of it because it was so much stuff, and it's like they can't even go through all this stuff. They don't even have the manpower to go through all this stuff because just people are dropping stuff off all the time. I don't know. It was a crazy amount of stuff. It was so much. So,
our point is definitely there will always be stuff. And our whole purpose of this episode is definitely to tell you, if you have not started yet, guys, get in there, start. It's so easy to set up an account and start selling small items. You just get it going so you understand the process, you understand how it all works, you have everything linked together with bank accounts and eBay. Set the sucker up so you can start making money, build the foundations. If something does happen in the future, that you have something to fall back on.
And I think I wrote down like 2 quick things of why maybe that people get stuck is, and the first one is like maybe you just keep thinking too much about it. You're thinking of all this stuff, and we talk about this all the time, but you haven't taken action because maybe something's scaring you, or maybe there's just a reason why you haven't acted upon it. But maybe you just are afraid of making mistakes, but it's going to happen. And what better time to happen when you're just getting started and you still have another income coming in?
Absolutely.
So versus, you're going to make some little mistakes, sometimes big mistakes, but you don't usually make them again. So usually you learn from them.
Absolutely.
You learn from them. And some of them, it's better to do it on the smaller stuff when you're getting started versus, as you go. So yeah, that's one way. And another one is that we've been guilty of for sure is maybe you have 10 different side hustles that you're trying to do, and it's hard to focus on any of them because you have so many things going on. And like, we get that. Like, you definitely,
Absolutely.
I mean, every day you have a new idea pretty much, and you have to be like, okay, well, we're focusing. Does this lead me towards my goal? I'm focusing. So maybe you have shiny object syndrome and you're like, okay, could be a great side hustle. This could be a great extra income. And you don't have to say necessarily flipping might not be it, and that's
Absolutely.
fine, but you have to pick something and really like let this
Dive in.
grow. Like, it can only grow if you put some attention to it. So
Absolutely. So like Melissa said, it might not be flipping. You might have something else that you're doing. That our point in this whole episode is just to get you guys thinking outside the box and thinking, okay, if something does happen, what is my fallback? What am I going to do?
Yeah.
Maybe it's dog walking. Maybe it's blogging. Maybe, you know what, whatever it is, really start to build the foundations of that so you are ready if something happens, because it does happen. 8 years ago, it happened to us. We came to the crossroads of, okay, you don't have insurance anymore. What are you going to do? Are you going to keep working where you're at, that you're not making very much money and you're making more money flipping? Or are you going to dive into this and really put some hours and really learn the business? Because I already knew the business, but I had to learn how to take it to the next level. So whatever that business is for you, this is your push. We want to get you thinking and get you out to the next level, get you out of your comfort zone. When you're out of your comfort zone, you're growing. And that's what our goal is, to get you out of your comfort zone and really start building that business.
Yep. And we're not here to scare you about something that could happen, but we are here. It's important to be prepared.
Aware,
because,
absolutely.
I mean, the world is it's a crazy place. So you never know what's going to happen day to day. So if you can be more prepared, the better. And I mean, we're not the best at being prepared for stuff, but I feel like that has, I don't know, just having that backup plan of a flipping gig, to know you can always fall back on that anytime we needed extra money. I wish I should have thought of some more times, but it's just always saved us. So
Absolutely.
like, okay, what can I sell? We need $1,000. Something just happened. Let's go. What can we go sell? So
Absolutely.
it's always helped. So
Guys, if you want to learn more about growing your flipping business, go check out this next video.